Good afternoon. I'm meteorologist Keely Chalmers coming to you live from outside my home in Boulder County. We're doing this remotely, and thank you so much for watching 9 News Watch, where it is still snowing out here. Just those light, fluffy flakes. The heavier snow came down overnight, and I think the official total here in the Boulder area was about 8 inches, but the unofficial total outside in my backyard, whoa, it's a little slippery, was pretty close to 9 inches out here, and we're continuing to just see some light snowfall. The heavier snow fell overnight, and things are kind of wrapping up. In fact, the National Weather Service just downgraded the winter storm warning that was in effect for the foothills and the I-25 corridor down to a winter weather advisory. So again, the snow is starting to end. Still a good amount of accumulation out there on the roads. Went out early this morning and did see the snow plows out there. Traveled on Highway 36 last night. Saw the snow plows out there last night, and I know Darius was talking about those plows out there in force today as well. So crews doing a good job at keeping those roads clear and drivable. Not getting too much more in terms of accumulation, but I'll tell you this, it is chilly out there right now. We're at about 11 degrees here in the Boulder area. And temperatures are going to drop down into the single digits overnight. So not only do we have to worry about ourselves, we also have to worry about these folks right here, our pets. This is, hey, Blue, Blue, Blue. This is Blue. This is my doggie. She's a puppy. She's she just wants to play in the snow. Hey, Blue, look. Look, 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 look. Here we go. Oh, there she goes. Because temperatures, as I talked about, not only do we have to bundle ourselves up, but we obviously want to have our pets out here in the snow playing and having fun and enjoying all this new snowfall. But it is very chilly out here. As I said, 11 degrees right now. We're going to get minus single digits, but right around minus here as we head into the overnight hours. I hope I'm having a little bit problem with my remote. I hope it's not breaking up too much again. We're doing this remotely from our homes of us and out there and about, so some of the Wi-Fi might be a little bit spotty. But again, getting back to the temperatures, very chilly overnight, and those overnight lows going into the single digits, but you factor in the wind chill, and we're talking wind chills in the negative teens, possibly negative 20s in some areas. So it is going to be cold tonight into tomorrow. Now we do have the other issue will be actually going into tomorrow morning will be the fog. As we get those clearing skies, as we head into Thursday morning, we may see some fog develop out there as well. And with those freezing temperatures, some of that may be freezing fog, and that's going to make for some slick conditions as well. But again, roads out there clearing the roads of snow. The temperatures are not letting anything melt, huh, Blue? And it's going to be chilly for the next several days. We will see sunshine as we head into the weekend. That's always a nice bright spot at the end of the storm. But again, a cold several days as we head into the weekend. The snow. Temperatures certainly chilly. Again, 11 degrees in Boulder, and expect very, very chilly temperatures overnight. So protect yourself, protect your home, your pipes, and of course protect your
Welcome into 9 News at noon this noon, actually.
It's been a long day.
We were on air for several hours this morning.
Yeah, it's been a long day.
We've been covering the storm. We do want to kick things off with a look at Bow Mountain right now. Pretty snowy and actually looking a little bit hazy. Could be maybe because some flurries are still coming down in that area.
Yeah, kind of a similar look too as we go to our Horsetooth cam. Not much of a difference there. That snow laid on very thick. Actually looks like you can still see some of those flakes falling in that area.
Yeah, you certainly can on that one. We also want to take a peek at Lookout Mountain. Again, all these scenes are pretty much looking the same. A lot of snow and kind of gray out there.
Yeah, now check this one out over Coors Field. Only difference there is there aren't mountains, but definitely still a snow-covered skyline as well as stadium. Good afternoon, everyone. Jordan Chavez and Erica Lopez with you, and we apologize for any loopiness. Like we said, it's been a long day.
Yeah, we had some extended coverage, which we were happy to bring you all. It was definitely necessary this morning. The storm will live up to all the hype. And actually, we still have some traffic impacts. So Chris Bianchi joins us now, and you're going to show us kind of what issues we're still seeing across the metro, Chris.
Yeah, and really, it's just a lot of slow going at this point here, Erica. And we are seeing at I-25 at 20th Avenue, you're seeing, again, traffic is moving, and the roads at this point, looks like CDOT's done some pretty good work on those roads because everything, again, moving generally fairly smoothly. I think in particular, it's those side streets that are going to be the biggest issues at this point. But again, especially those main roads at this point, things are getting around. So broad look here at the metro area, and you're seeing a lot of yellow, and that would be, of course, slowdowns on 6th Avenue as well as on I-25. I-70, we are seeing some of the slowdowns. Looks like 225 in particular. Do want to take you up here, up to the north and I-25 northbound and exit 257, where we do have a lane closure. This has been ongoing for the last little while. We've seen some fairly significant issues up here by Loveland, so something to certainly keep in mind up there by the Fort Collins area. I'm going to send things over to meteorologist Danielle Grant for a look at the forecast.
Hey, Chris, here in the backyard. Did you do some shoveling for me? We're looking pretty good. This snowfall stacking up big time across downtown Denver. I brought up my trusty ruler, and it looks like we probably picked up, I'd say 9 inches or so here in the 9 backyard, and I'm sure many of you across downtown Denver, much of the I-25 corridor, picking up about 6 to 12 inches from this storm. Take a look at some of these totals that we just got into the Weather Center. Commerce City, the big winner, 13.6 inches in and around Boulder. A foot, 12 inches once again out toward Horsetooth Mountain. And then look at that, Fort Collins, just a little over 10 inches. Incredible, and the snow continues to come down up into the high country. Here downtown, still a few light flurries. We do have that winter weather advisory in place. It will continue until about 8 o'clock or so tonight. Overall, looking at about 1 to 2 additional inches of snowfall in effect for the foothills, the mountains off to the eastern plains. We're tracking a wind chill advisory for late tonight into tomorrow morning, and then areas to the south, the San Juans, looking at that winter storm warning continuing out there. The heaviest snowfall still positioned across the eastern side of the state. Things beginning to slowly wind down here around downtown Denver, but still as we go throughout the rest of the afternoon, wouldn't be surprised if you still see a couple of flurries flying around town. This is about 5 p.m. when the evening drive hopefully is a bit better, and then by 10, 11 o'clock, still a few clouds, but our skies will gradually clear, and that means these temperatures that are currently in the teens will be dropping off fast. Feels more like 5 below in Broomfield. Whew, it's going to be a cold night for sure. Don't forget, bring in the pets. Yes, you have to, because it's going to be a cold one tonight and early tomorrow morning. Erica and Jordan, we are looking at the sunshine, however, making a comeback just in time for the weekend. Details on that in just a few minutes.
I'm excited about the return of the sunshine.
Yes.
However, I do love me some Danielle Grant and the House of Gucci Lady Gaga hat. I love that it's back.
Vibes,
My
girl.
faux fur. I'm just trying to stay warm out here, you guys.
It looks great on you. You wear it well, my friend.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, Danielle, thanks so much. Well, today, hundreds of businesses and schools called a snow day. Our team created a full list of the closures and delays. Those are all scrolling at the bottom of your screen, actually all the way across your screen now. You can also find those over on the 9 News app or at 9news.com. Now, of course, the poor road conditions are the primary reason for those closures and delays.
Yeah, certainly been pretty dicey out here across the metro and beyond. And even when the snow continues to taper off, it will be too cold for any natural melting. So 9 News reporter Angelina McCall has been keeping tabs on the roads for us and how crews are responding. Angeline is in Central Park, which saw some of those biggest snow totals. What are you seeing out there, Angeline?
Yeah, well, if you're on the road, just know that your wheels are not touching pavement. They're touching ice and they're touching snow. And this is the kind of weather that you could be very easily fooled, because when you look at the road, it looks pretty clear. But when you actually put your foot on the brake and try to stop, you're going to be slipping and sliding in some places. And you don't want to be that person that doesn't give enough space or doesn't give enough room, or if you're just overconfident. And then of course we know what happens when you're in that kind of attitude. So Denver DOT says that many roads will remain snowpacked today. Drivers just make sure to use extreme caution, drive slowly, give yourself extra stopping distance and extra time to get to wherever you're going. I know it sounds simple, guys, but some people don't remember those very simple things that can make your day very good or not great at all. Denver says that plow drivers will complete their 12-hour shifts today at 3 p.m., aiming to go down the center of each street to provide a path on main roads and prevent deep ice ruts. Now, CDOT says that they anticipate most major roadways and highways will be clear by tomorrow. And while many roads are looking good, don't get stuck being overconfident.
The big thing, particularly as the road conditions start to look better and better, it's really important for people to continue to drive to the worst of those conditions and make sure that, if you do hit a patch that isn't in quite as good a shape, your vehicle's prepared for it and you're going to stay safe.
And when we did travel up to Commerce City, which has some of the highest snowfalls that we've seen, we saw a lot of drivers in one particular area, and there were just car parts on the side of the road because plenty of people did not follow those simple basic rules or just became a little bit overconfident, and they got stuck in the snow, had to be towed out. So just don't, just be careful when you're out there.
Yeah, you can't remind people of that enough. Angeline, my friend, thank you so much. Please be safe out there on the roads yourself.
Colorado is not the only state getting buried in snow today. The storm system stretches really across most of the country.
Yeah, more than 90 million Americans are seeing the impacts of what could be the biggest storm of the season. NBC's Megan Fitzgerald reports from Chicago.
Yeah, the snow has been coming down here in Chicago since last night. It's not expected to taper off until late this afternoon. Some areas of Illinois expecting some 20 inches of snow. You can see here in Chicago it just continues to pile up. So we're talking about an inch of snow an hour in some places. The governor of Illinois issuing a declaration disaster, basically alerting the National Guard, putting some 100 Guard members on standby to respond to any potential emergency situations that they see across the state. But this is something that we're seeing across the country. Heads of state urging their folks to stay indoors and off the roadways because we are seeing treacherous conditions from the border of Mexico all the way up to Vermont. Another big concern here is ice, freezing rain. That's something that we're seeing in Arkansas all the way up to the Ohio Valley. And of course, you think of our friends in Texas. Many folks there really concerned because of what they saw last year with the power grid freezing. Folks were without power for days. Of course, that was a deadly situation. It's not just the roadways, though. We know that the skies, of course, impacted as well. At this point, some 2,000 flights have been delayed. We know there's about 2,500 cancellations. And of course, as the snow continues to grip much of the nation, those numbers are likely going to increase. In Chicago, Megan Fitzgerald, NBC News.
9 News Broncos insider Mike Kliss broke the news this morning. The team just hired a new offensive coordinator and new quarterbacks coach. Former Green Bay Packers tight end coach Justin Alton will be the Broncos' new offensive coordinator. For the last 3 seasons, he's served on the offensive side of the Packers coaching staff with Nathaniel Hackett, who we know the Broncos hired last week as the new head coach. Clint Kubiak will be the Broncos' new quarterbacks coach. Kubiak's father, Gary Kubiak, led the Broncos to their Super Bowl 50 title in 2015.
And still ahead on 9 News at noon, Washington, D.C.'s NFL team reveals their new name after 18 months of searching and several leaks yesterday.
Big news there. Also ahead, Punxsutawney Phil's prediction, 6 more weeks of winter or an early spring. Hooter School District will actually get to sleep in. The district says it will start 2 hours late because of the snow and cold. Of course, snowstorms like today's, they're more than just an inconvenience.
Yeah, you know, for a lot of Coloradans, they actually provide moments of pure joy. So who better to talk about this than our own colleague who is pretty much synonymous with pure joy. We got Katie Eastman, probably the happiest moment you're going to have on live TV today. Katie, who is your friend?
This is Gidget, and I'm actually keeping her from Joy right now, you guys, because she really wants to go and play with all of these other dogs here at the Berkeley Dog Park. But I'm making her stay right here for the TV. Gidget, can you sit? Can you sit? I'll give you a treat, and then I'm going to let her go off and play, and we're going to show you her playing with all the dogs. There you go. There's your treat. There you go. So yeah, this. Yep, you're good. Oh, now she wants more treats. No, she's going off. This is like the best place to be on a snow day, right? If you're lucky enough to have a snow day or to work remotely or work from home, then you can bring your dog here, and it is just the absolute happiest day. I'm gonna show you Gidget playing here. That's the Doberman Lucy. She's just a puppy, but she is enjoying herself. It is great. I know, it's just, yep, they're good. She's like, oh gosh, she just ran into Anne. This is Anne's dog. When Anne's trying to manicure her while she's watching all the dogs play. Okay, it's going all right. We're going good. They're playing. It's all good, you guys. But still driving here, it was a little rough. Like there are some slippery spots in the road. We're looking just up here at 70 and Sheridan, and we just watched as a couple of cars slid, and there was some police activity over here. So yes, traffic is moving along. But if you're not careful, you will slide on these roads. So yes, you can have fun, enjoy it, but still be safe. And if you're coming to the dog park, drive here safely, or better yet, walk here if you can.
Yeah, you got the perfect juxtaposition right there. You got the traffic hazards as well as the pure joy with all the dogs. Katie Eastman, thank you so much. We appreciate you, my friend. Be safe out there.
Expect the snow to stop falling in the metro area sometime tonight.
Yeah, some snow totals next in Danielle's full forecast.
And overlay them with like colors. Can we do that?
Like,
13.6.
oh, no. Okay. Yeah, I mean,
I can create it.
Noon, we have to get another look at the forecast because some flakes still falling in some areas.
Ooh.
Yeah, you know, it's so funny too. Everybody on our weather team this morning, of course, they have to report the official total out at DIA.
Yeah.
But Danielle, anybody who is waking up is like, it is much more than what they are seeing out there.
Yes, Chris and I have been discussing this at great length because it is so frustrating. Out at the airport, we actually just got a new number in, 2.7 inches, right, Chris? Yeah. Yes, 2.7 inches all the way out at DIA. But in Commerce City, what? 7-10 miles away, they picked up more than 13 inches of snow. So it was all about that very defined gradient and those really strong snowmans that came through late last night into early this morning that allowed for that setup to happen. And for many of you folks to be looking out the window saying, yeah, I definitely have a foot of fresh snowfall out in the front yard or the backyard. Many locations picking up pretty much between 6 to 12 inches. I want to take you on a quick little tour of several of our sky cams. This one in and around Fort Collins, CSU campus, looking so quiet on this snow day. In Boulder, the Pearl Street Mall looking quite festive. And then downtown Denver, can you see the city skyline? I don't know. I'm squinting. It's a little tough. But the roads, not bad. I got to give it to CDOT because they are working some magic out there. My drive into work, not that bad. All right, so the snow, it will be pushing out as we look ahead toward this afternoon. I do anticipate the evening drive to be a bit better, but if you are going to be out on the roads late tonight into early tomorrow, could be still looking at some pretty icy spots out there. The temperatures, they're going to drop like a rock, so you know the drill. Bring those pets inside. So far for the season, 20.9 inches out at DIA. Well, we should be a little closer to about 27.5, but we'll get there. And certainly downtown picking up a lot more snow than out at the airport. We're now at 13, still a couple of flurries. The wind's quiet and calm, so we'll take that while we can. Wind chill values going sub-zero around Greeley, off to the eastern plains too, but not all that bad up into the high country. The winter weather alerts, they are still in effect, and then we'll continue until about 8 o'clock, at least the advisory going for the Denver metro area up into the foothills and the mountains. Right now, it only looks like another 1 to 2 inches, but toward the winter storm warning, everywhere you see in red, toward the San Juans, the Sangre de Cristos, far southeastern Colorado, closer up to the mountains, that's where you could be looking at an additional possibly 6 to 9 inches. The low-lying areas more like 3, and then of course off to the eastern side of the state, that wind chill advisory kicking in at 11 o'clock as these temperatures going to drop so dramatically overnight into tomorrow. This storm system, it is huge. It's not just impacting us as it's pulling away, but all the way up towards Chicago, St. Louis, they're looking at heavy snowfall, some ice along with this storm too as it impacts northern Texas. Back here on HD.9 here in Colorado, you can see still some pretty nice snow bands coming along the eastern plains. Just a few flurries here for downtown Denver. But tonight, once our skies start to clear, we'll get really good radiational cooling. We won't have the cloud deck in place to act kind of like a blanket. So that's going to allow our temperatures to drop dramatically, 10 below what I'm looking at out toward DIA, 11 below in Greeley. And again, this is not factoring in the wind chill. So I can't stress it enough. Bring your sweet pets inside tonight. Here we are about 2-3 o'clock, still some light showers coming across the metro area. 6 p.m. the cloud deck's still in place, and then by 11 midnight, that's when our skies start to clear. You know, tomorrow morning you might wake up to a little bit of patchy fog, especially into Weld County, but by the afternoon the sunshine will be out. The temperatures, however, will still be so cold. High pressure is around, so that's going to keep us dry at least for the next couple of days, but our temps tomorrow, bitterly cold. 19, all we'll do, we'll stay in the teens for most of eastern Colorado, some spots in the lower 20s. But look at this extended forecast real quick. We're back into the 40s on Saturday, 50s early next week. We're back right after this. Hey everyone, meteorologist Danielle Grant here in the 9 Backyard. Hope you're having a wonderful snow day. Wow, right? An absolute winter wonderland here in the 9 Backyard. I just measured and we picked up about 9 inches here around downtown Denver, but these totals have been pretty epic. Most folks picking up about 6 to 12 inches of snow. Really, a lot of folks on the higher end of these totals, but this winter storm, it is not done with us just yet. I want to take you on a quick tour of a couple of our cameras. We'll start off the Loveland ski area. Skiers, boarders loving it. Some fresh powder, of course, visibility. Well, not great. This is our view around Fort Collins out of the CSU campus. Certainly looks like a snow day out there, so quiet. And in Boulder around the Pearl Street Mall, it's always a beautiful sight to see with those snow-covered trees. Downtown Denver, well, you can kind of see it in the far-off distance. I am happy to report that a lot of people are staying off the roads, working from home, or the kiddos just had that snow day. I-70, I-25, not that bad. A big shout out to CDOT. They have been working wonders out on the roads for us. The storm system slowly pushing out this afternoon. We still have a couple of little flurries around. This evening, I anticipate the evening drive to be a bit better for you. But once the storm rolls out, the bitter cold temperatures roll in. So you got to make sure to bring those pets inside. So far, out of DIA, 2.7 inches. All we could do out of this storm. That takes our seasonal snowfall totals to 20.9, still shy of where we should be for this time of the year. Right now out at the airport, we're at 13, still snowing out there, but the winds are quiet and calm, so wind chill, we don't have to deal with that. Not yet anyway. Here in the backyard, it is pretty snowy, light snowfall still coming down, and our temperatures currently sitting at about 12 degrees. Now, as we look across kind of the state and what's going on as far as these numbers are concerned, some cold spots around Greeley. These are the wind chill values, 4 below what it feels like. A lot of folks sub-zero across the eastern plains, and then up in the mountains, not quite as chilly, but of course, still cold. We do have the winter weather advisory in place everywhere you see in blue. Denver, the I-25 corridor included in that until 8 o'clock this evening. 1 to 2 additional inches of snowfall, and then the storm system really winds down. If you're joining us from the Sangre de Cristos, the San Juans, still going to be under that winter storm warning, even far southeastern Colorado until late tonight. Areas, low-lying areas, the valleys picking up an additional about 3 to 4 inches. If you're closer up to the mountains, and elevation possibly 6 to 9 inches by late tonight. And then the eastern plains, they have that wind chill advisory going because it's just going to be so darn cold late tonight into early tomorrow morning. Look at how massive this storm system is. You know, it plowed into Colorado last night. It gave us a good run for our money with some really heavy snow bands, 2-3 inches of snow an hour at times. It was wild, but now the system, it's starting to push out and it's impacting the Midwest, Chicago through St. Louis, looking at really heavy snowfall. We're also tracking the potential for seeing some ice, which is never a good thing. And this storm system extending all the way out into Texas. They too are the ones that potentially will be dealing with an ice storm later this afternoon into this evening. Back here around Colorado, snowfall still coming down. Again, the heaviest amounts still across the far eastern side of the state. As we zoom back into the Front Range, things winding down as we just have a few light flurries continuing to come through. Snowfall winding down again later this evening, I'd say by about 6-7 o'clock, and then the bitter cold sets in. Right now, my forecast 10 below out at DIA, but those wind chill values, they of course will feel even chillier. Tonight, we're dropping sub-zero across most of eastern Colorado, even up into the high country too. It's just going to be frigid out there. As we look at the futurecast, this is about 2 o'clock or so this afternoon, so another about hour and a half to go. Most of the snowfall really starting to wind down by about dinner time. Few lingering showers up into the foothills, south central Colorado, and then everything moving out by about 11 p.m. We will be left with a few clouds, but as those clear, those temperatures fall, and they fall really, really fast. Tomorrow morning, you wake up, possibly some sunshine, especially on the south side of town. Wouldn't be surprised if we do see a little bit of patchy fog going out there, especially into Weld County. But the day looks good. It will be Wednesday and Thursday is tomorrow. And we're going to be looking at lots of sunshine moving in. High pressure rolls back into Colorado and it brings the sunshine for the next couple of days. Tomorrow is still going to be cold though. Daytime highs barely making their way into the upper teens, low 20s for the metro area. But as we look ahead toward the weekend, things will be a a little better. We'll start to see a bit more melting out there, but 19, my high for tomorrow, will stay in the teens for most of northeastern Colorado, 11 in Steamboat and Winter Park, with low 20s around Lake City and through Alamosa. So 22 in Arvada as well as Lyons will be in the teens in Fort Collins through Greeley. Yeah, the sunshine tomorrow will be a bit more cosmetic. Back in business with the 40s as well. Right now, next week, I have some slightly warmer temperatures coming our way. We will be sitting in the lower 50s, plenty of sunshine out there, and that really is when I anticipate us doing a bit more melting around here, just because it's still going to be pretty cold for the next couple of days. All right, whew. I'm racing inside from the chilly 9 backyard to hop on Facebook and see if y'all have any questions for me about the storm or kind of what's going on throughout the rest of the weekend to come. So here we are, just sat down in front of my computer, and okay, Regina saying her whole reason for moving to Las Vegas. Okay, so you're not a fan of the snow, I gather. Lauren, thank you. My hat is super warm and faux fur, just throwing that out there. Anthony saying sidewalk and driveway clean, eating some chicken soup, enjoying the snow. Gosh, that sounds like a dream. I love it. Yes, Lisa asking for some snowfall totals. I forgot to include this when I ran outside, but I will kind of give you a brief little update. Again, Commerce City, kind of the biggest winners out of this storm, 13.6 inches. Wow. Holy smokes. They were under that really heavy band that was coming through, dropping 2 to 3 inches of snow an hour. It's just crazy. A foot in Boulder, out toward Horseshoe Mountain, the east side of Denver, just shy of a foot. I mean, wow, right? Golden, 11.5, 10 inches plus in Fort Collins, Westminster, Lakewood too. So everyone boding quite well as far as the storm system goes. This is amazing news that we desperately needed, considering the drought conditions that we have going across the entire state. The storm system will certainly help, hopefully put a little dent into the drought numbers. Yeah, Jennifer, there are no heaters in the backyard. That's why I raced inside. Yes, trying to stay warm. Jill asking, any predicted wind at the tail end of this storm? I don't think so. I think, you know, we should. Yes, the wind chill. I just walked in, and meteorologist Chris Bianchi is in here with me as well, kind of tracking the tail end of the storm. But yeah, the biggest thing of note tonight will be just winds that are picking up. They'll switch out of the southwest, 5 to 10, 5 to 15 miles per hour, which really isn't that bad. But then you factor in just how cold it is, and it will feel even chillier. Dee Dee wondering about how many inches for Deer Trail. I don't know if we saw a report out there, did we?
They didn't get a ton out there. They got all theirs last night. 3 to 6 would be what they ended up with, probably.
Okay. I don't know if you guys heard that. Chris is thinking more 3 to 6 out there in Deer Trail. Folks out there weren't necessarily under those stronger bands that we saw. Kate, yeah, thank you for tuning in. Doug asking, any long-range snowstorms for the ski resorts showing up? They all need snow. I know we always need snow at our ski resorts. You know, right now it's not looking too terribly promising in the immediate 7 days as far as the high country seeing anything big. We just kind of have sunshine, and this ridge is going to be parked kind of across Colorado for a bit. So I know, I wish that they had a bit more, but unfortunately that's what we got. Yes, Michelle saying, can't wait for the sunshine. What else am I missing? Embrace the polar vortex. Yeah, I mean, we have no other options, right? Mark, yes, silly DIA. Yeah, and you don't live too far away from DIA. Yes, Chris and I were talking about that. You know, this system only brought in 2.7 inches out at the airport. Did I change this? No, I haven't changed it yet. We just got that new report in, which is just crazy because of these strong bands that came through. And just a couple miles of difference makes a world of difference in how much snowfall certain areas picked up. I mean, I guess It's frustrating because the storm system was easily a 6 to 12 event, if not 8 to 14. But, you know, it's going down in the record books out at DIA is just a little more than 2 inches. So incredibly frustrating. But if you are traveling, I think you're saying, okay, this is fine. Like if the airlines can continue to operate and they're not digging out all that much, then we're kind of good to go in that regard. Anyone else have any questions as I'm scrolling? Oh, okay. So 2 inches right out there, Deer Trail. Yep, I hear ya. All right, guys. Well, I think that's about it. Just one last check, my 7-day forecast. None of the sunshine from here. Certainly tomorrow is going to be a cold one, but warmer weather is in sight. I hope you guys have a great rest of your snowy Wednesday, and we'll see you back here tomorrow, same time, same place.
Two, one. Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us here on 9 News Watch. I'm meteorologist Keely Chalmers reporting for you live here in Boulder County, where the snow is still falling. It is falling lightly. It is just kind of flurrying out here right now, but the snow continues to fall. I tell you, about an hour ago, it seemed like it was picking up after lightening up, picked up. Now it's back to just some light flurries, but we have a good amount of accumulation here in the Boulder area. I just measured it out in my backyard, which is where I am, and it was pretty close to 9 inches of snowfall here. I think the official total this morning, but again, it's been snowing, so the accumulations are going up, was about 8 inches. So it continues to snow out here. The temperature's very, very chilly. I think at last check we were about 11 degrees in and around this area, so certainly very chilly out there. And we talk about making sure your pets are protected, safe, and this is my pet. This is Blue. We've been showing Blue throughout the morning off and on. I think she's pretty happy about the coverage. She's playing some soccer right now, but of course she is outside enjoying the snow, but we bring her in every so often so she can warm up. Always, you got it on your nose, buddy. You got snow on your nose. Anyway, but yeah, we got lots of nice fluffy snow out here. It is beautiful. But those temperatures, yeah, they are going to get really, really chilly, especially overnight, dropping into the negative digits. I think Denver's supposed to get down to about -10, possibly -11 tonight. So again, those temperatures are very, very chilly out there. We have to remember to bundle up when we head outside. And of course, take care of these guys, our pets. Hey, Blue. I did look at the roads earlier today. They are out, the plows on the neighborhood, the side streets, they're out there plowing pretty well. And Highway 36, I saw crews on Highway 36 last night. And again, I heard Darius earlier talking about how they're still out there. So the roads being treated, the snow being removed from them pretty well. But, you know, the bottom line is they're still slick. And with temperatures below freezing, they're not going to warm up. And as we go into the evening commute, even though the roads might look nice, they are going to be slick out there. So just something to think about. If it looks just wet, it's probably still going to be slick and icy out there. But again, the snow here keeps falling. We have that system moving through. It's kind of just stalling out. We're just getting the light snow in our area at this point. But it is continuing to fall. Most of the snow moving out by this afternoon. And then we have high pressure kind of settling in, and that's going to clear the clouds away, clear any type of storm activity out of our area. So we'll see clear skies overnight into tomorrow. One issue when we have that clearing out, sometimes fog will develop in the morning hours. So we are looking at the potential for some patchy fog out there overnight into tomorrow morning. And with the freezing conditions, some of that could be freezing fog, and that will just add to the traffic hazards out there and the slick conditions. So again, get out, enjoy the snow. Beautiful out here. Take your pets out to enjoy it, but make sure you bring them back in, especially overnight, because it is going to get chilly. Ah, beautiful shot though. So fun for those animals. We are reporting live here in Boulder County. We'll hopefully see you here shortly.
Thanks so much for joining us here on 9 News Watch. I'm meteorologist Chris Bianchi with meteorologist Danielle Grant, who you just saw on the 9 News at Noon show.
Yes.
We've been tracking the snow.
It's been an exciting one, to say the least.
Yeah, hard to forecast. We're going to get into more on that here in just a second.
Quite difficult.
We had, first of all, a big snowstorm.
Yes, absolutely, especially for the beginning of February. Here we are kind of diving into the month, and wow, so many places picking up. I mean, anywhere between about 8 to 14 inches on the higher side. And then there's DIA, which we will dive into further. They did not get much.
Yes, I do hope that Bobby is bleeping this. No, I'm just kidding. But when it comes to DIA, we'll show you the total there from just a second. But it's obviously really unrepresented. By the way, nice to see a million of us there.
Yeah, we just keep going off into the universe.
The abyss.
The abyss.
So from there, by the way, thanks again for joining us. Let's get into some of those views right around the area. By the way, still some pretty decent snow up by the Eisenhower Tunnel.
Low visibility, too.
Yeah, I mean, that might be a mile visibility right now, so that's probably still accumulating.
Yeah, looking good on the slopes, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Don't you wish you were out there?
Totally. Fort Collins, not bad. I mean, it looks like campus is shut down for business today. Snow day out there?
I think everyone got one today.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Fort Collins got 10. I think
Yep.
10 inches up in Fort Collins. So
Very impressive.
good snowstorm there. Good snowstorm here. I think downtown we ended up about 8.
Yeah, when I went out to the backyard at around noon, we had 9 inches. So not a bad storm. And, you know, we've been kind of begging for this. We've been talking about the drought. We had, obviously, the awful wildfires the end of December. So we desperately need to see any kind of precipitation we can get our hands on. And Mother Nature certainly performed with this one.
We got it. Now the storm is moving out.
Yep.
I mean, I think we're pretty much done with accumulating snow at this point.
Yeah, you know, we have that advisory in place until about 8 o'clock or so tonight for Denver, but the heaviest snowfall already on the ground. Maybe an inch or 2 tops. But yeah, for the most part, it's just the beautiful little flurries that are still kind of flying outside of our window as we take a peek. But I think the evening drive should be a lot better. And then the bitter cold.
And then the bitter cold. So we're now kind of transitioning to more of like a cold focus. I will say this, part of the advisory is because of the fact that there's a lot of melted snow out there, and so that could lead to patchy black ice. So just keep that in mind, that it may look like it's kind of pavement, especially after dark. So just keep in mind there's black ice out there.
And that could even linger into tomorrow morning, because we're not expecting our temperatures to be warming up truly anytime soon. But wow. As we look at these 24-hour snowfall totals, I mean, who would have thought Commerce City, east of I-25, would be the big winner out of this?
Oh, we were all predicting this last night, as you've seen. I'm just kidding. Nobody. By the way, Commerce City, this might be the first time ever, I think, that I've ever seen them topping the
charts.
Commerce City coming in first place with 13.6 inches. Sunshine, that is in the foothills outside of Boulder. A little over a foot out there, and Boulder itself, a good foot. That was what we were kind of thinking, is that Boulder, the bullseye would be in the foothills.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised, by the way, still snowing up there, probably still accumulating in the foothills, that we may add a bit more in the foothills, another inch or 2 up that way. We come in with a good maybe 14, 15 inch total up there. East side of Denver, we had that band. We'll get more of that in just a second. 11.6 here on the east side of town.
Just tremendous, these snowfall reports that are coming into us. And as we will show you, it was really interesting to see the sharp gradient from the west side of town to the east side of town, or even just from Commerce City to DIA.
I mean, that's stunning.
Yeah.
That's obviously, I mean, if you're new to Denver, this is all east of I-25. So this is Commerce City over DIA. That is, I don't know, I've done that drive a million times. 10, 15 minute drive. You live out that way. So it's, you know, this is a short distance and nearly a foot of snow separated by 9 miles.
Yeah, we did the math on this one. 9 miles and close to 11 inches difference. And it was all because of those really strong bands that set up, gosh, around midnight, 1 a.m. and just didn't stop.
And by the way, kids, not to necessarily push you out of meteorology, but needless to say, this is a little tough to forecast when you're talking about a 9 mile differential between 11. This kind of reminds me of lake effect snow, where you get these really narrow bands. So Danielle, I mean, this is what we saw overnight, this kind of narrow band of snow that pivoted across the metro area, but entirely missed the airport.
Yep. From the east to the west. And as we kind of loop and zoom in to HD Doppler 9, right now it's kind of heading out toward noon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, where we are right now. But look at that. just those darker bands of blue, indicating just how heavy the snowfall was. And again, the timing of that really was from about 1 to 4, 5 a.m., where we saw 2 to 3 inches of snowfall an hour. That is unreal.
Unbelievable. Absolutely. I mean, per hour.
Yeah, unbelievable. But it was all about, forecasting where that band was going to line up. And a lot of us thought, that was going to be west of I-25, and just not the case with this one.
No.
I mean, certainly west of I-25 saw some really good snow, but Commerce City definitely a shocker for sure.
And this is the part of the snow that we're looking at, the storm that we're looking at here, that I suppose performed unusually. This is, I think the rest of it, again, west of I-25, along west, we ended up with a good 6 to 12 inches.
Yep.
This was the unexpected part, where Commerce City getting nailed by this band, again, between about, as you mentioned, I think it was about 1 to 5 a.m. or so where we saw that. That said, the paltry 2.7 inches of snow officially here at DIA, a story for another day, maybe a few drinks, would be to narrow that down. But we now picked up about 21 inches worth of snowfall, which I think is pretty impressive considering we started the season with basically nothing until New Year's Eve.
Mid-December we finally got that first snow, and then really it didn't ramp up until January. So, I mean, these really are just numbers out at DIA, but what we'll be able to see in the drought monitor coming up tomorrow and then next week, once we really get all the data in, I think we'll see some really great improvements from this, because yes, DIA saw 2 inches, but the rest of us saw so much water come through with this storm. So DIA.
And speaking of DIA, by the way, the city park observation site ended up with 9.5 inches from this, which is the Central Park one, I should say. The Central Park observation site ended up with 9.5 inches worth of snowfall from this, and that used to be the official climate site for Denver. So obviously it's a much more accurate representation of what we actually saw in the city. So the official total, again, don't let that mislead you. That's not, Danielle or I have nothing to do with the fact that the observation site is officially at DIA. That's the Weather Service.
Yes, not our, I guess it is maybe our bone to pick, but we don't unfortunately get to have any sort of say in that, so to speak. But right now, Chris, we're still seeing a few flakes flying out at DIA. Temperatures have been holding steady right about 12, 13 degrees, but those winds are starting to kick up out of the east-southeast, 11 miles per hour. That really isn't bad, but look what it's doing to the wind chill, and that's going to be the big headline late tonight.
Yes, and so I know we've been focusing on the snow. That obviously tends to grab the headlines here, but this is the real story, and this is the kind of impactful thing of all this, is it's going to be so cold from the system. And by the way, 2 days ago at this time here in Denver, it was 60 degrees. Now we got a -2 wind chill. I mean, hey, that's Colorado weather, but look at
across the entire state.
Yeah.
I mean, the Eastern Plains already going sub-zero as far as the wind chill values are concerned. Leadville, I got to squint. Yep, 15 below. Ouch. So yeah, this, the first headline was all about the snow, and now this afternoon into the evening, the headline turns to the frigid temperatures and the fact that we got to bring those pets inside tonight. It will be interesting too tomorrow to see if any schools do a delayed start just because of the cold. You think about those kiddos waiting for the bus, in the 5 below 0 degree temperatures. So we'll see as the evening wears on.
Denver averages 7 days below 0 per year, so there's nothing that unusual.
Of course you have those statistics just in the back of your head to whip out, Chris.
Just trying to impress, obviously, but no, we average 7 days below 0 per year, and the reason I bring that up is I think that number goes down to only about 2. Well, we only average about 1 or 2 days per year where we average a low temperature of -5 or lower. So normally when we drop below 0, it's kind of -1, -2, and that's not to mitigate that, but it's pretty rare to get this cold. I mean, again, it's not record-setting. It happens a couple times a year on average, but again, this is that once or twice a year kind of cold.
Where it just hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts when you walk outside. You know what? The Eastern Plains actually are under a wind chill advisory. Perfect. It starts around 11 o'clock tonight. It'll go till 11 a.m. Wind chill values certainly below 20, 25 below.
Ugh.
So, yeah, ouch. You think about all the cattle and stuff that's out there. Our farmers, ranchers, making sure everybody stays toasty out there. And it also looks like the San Luis Valley included in that as well.
Yes.
Got that posted for the wind chill advisory.
Good spot. And by the way,
Cold spot.
cold spot. Yeah, exactly. Not a hot spot. We both have dogs that love the snow and love the cold. But you know, I'm just telling you, even though it's gonna be tough, it's like kind of bringing in a kid at the end of I don't know, a long Saturday or something and playing sports with their friends. You know, my dog is gonna want to hang out in the cold and the snow all night, but she's coming in quickly, and I'm sure you same with
Hop on the bed, warm you up. Couple of blankets, that's for sure.
Well, from there over to kind of a broad view. So you've probably heard about the fact that a lot of the country is getting impacted by this winter storm. And the fascinating part about this is there are quite a few delays at Denver International Airport right now. And most of them have little to do with what's actually happening here. It's because St. Louis, Chicago, which is of course a huge hub, Indy is going to get a huge storm. Dallas, Oklahoma City getting blasted with snow. Yeah.
Potentially ice down there too.
Schools closed, all that.
Yep, it looks like a mess, and this is just kind of the beginning as the storm system charges off to the East Coast late tonight into tomorrow. Again, we still have a few lingering flurries, especially east of I-25, the Eastern Plains, a few around the Denver area, but look it out toward northwestern Colorado, like Craig, Meeker, Steamboat.
Beautiful day.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it's sunny over here. What? The Front Range is totally buried in snow. So all about location today.
Absolutely, and again, hopefully Grand Junction, our friends in the Western Slope, enjoying your beautiful sunny day, while here in Denver it's 12 degrees with a -2 wind chill, and it has been snowing for about 18 hours in a row.
Yeah, so I went 10 below, just because I think with any kind of clearing that we get, we're going to drop, and we're going to drop really fast with all the fresh snowfall cover. Winds relatively light. That's a pretty good reasoning to think that we're just going to go low, low, low. And then the wind chill values too, really hurting, 20 to 25 below what it feels like when you walk outside. So just kind of keep that in mind, at least through tomorrow midday before the temperatures warm up.
This is dangerous cold. This is when, frostbite kicks in after 15, 20 minutes. So needless to say, I cannot imagine you want to spend a lot of time outside tonight. I personally I will run when it gets down below zeros when I stop running outside. I'm serious about that, but like once it gets below zero, it's like,
what am I doing out
What am I doing out
Yeah,
exactly.
Totally. This map I don't think quite representative of the Eastern Plains. I think those numbers are going to be a bit cooler, but it's not just us. Look at Steamboat, 11 below, 4 below in Winter Park, Gunnison, 17 below. So those low-lying valleys also going to drop.
And that's where that cold air, that heavy cold air just drains in.
It's like a little pocket, pocket of cold air with nowhere to go. You can see our hand motions.
Yes, hard to convey that when you got the map overhead, but you get that. And by the way, another thing for our friends in Gunnison, Kremling, where it's been so cold, Steamboat, that cold air is very hard to get out of there because it, again, drains down to these little pockets, as you were saying there, Danielle, and you have to get winds to mix down from the higher levels to mix out. Long story short, that's probably going to stay cold in those places for a few days.
At least through the weekend before we finally start to see more seasonal temperatures, because tomorrow, bitter cold around here, even with the clearing. So, as we're watching the future cast go till about 6, 7 o'clock, everything kind of clearing out. Still a few lingering showers. By 11, we're pretty much done with the snow. Might see a little bit of patchy fog out there, the usual suspects, the South Platte River Valley into Weld County. But that sunshine that we do see tomorrow, cosmetic. Yeah, it is not going to be a toasty Thursday by any means. I mean, we barely climb out of the teens into the low 20s.
It's going to be a struggle to get to 20 tomorrow.
A struggle, for sure. That's why my forecast high is 19.
19? All right. So we got 19 degrees for tomorrow. I mean, so if we stay, in the teens for your day tomorrow, again, this is unusual, pretty dangerous cold, I think, even through the day tomorrow. It does moderate pretty quickly, though.
Yeah, high pressure rolls back in, and so that's going to give us a break, kind of sends our storm off to the East Coast. But again, as we said, tomorrow, even with the sunshine, these numbers are going to be just downright brutal.
That is not fun. And again, kicking the wind chill, statewide, not a whole lot of fun for your day tomorrow.
I mean, everyone pretty much teens and 20s across Colorado. So tomorrow's still a cold day, but at least we'll have the sunshine. I mean, we won't be doing any melting, that's for sure, but the sun will be out. Glass half full, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
it's the day after Groundhog Day.
Yep.
I don't know what that has to do with anything, but we're going to mention that anyways.
It's still looking like winter and feeling like winter, as Punxsutawney Phil He's going to take our job someday, Chris. And the guy's saying 6 more weeks of winter, and I believe it.
I mean, in Colorado, I think we should do that on April the 1st and
Yeah.
see if we're going to have the 6 more weeks of winter. But
That's how we roll around here.
on the East Coast, they do on February the 2nd because they don't get a foot of snow each April. All right, speaking of which, it's going to actually kind of start to feel spring-like by this weekend, isn't it?
Moderate a bit, definitely. I mean, looking ahead to the weekend, pretty seasonal. But then next week, I mean, back to the low 50s, some sunshine. That is when we're going to start to do the real melting around here. And we got a lot to melt.
Yes, we do. I mean, especially in Commerce City. I mean,
Yes, and especially if you have those north-facing backyards, front yards, driveways. It takes a while.
mine didn't even melt at all, really.
Yeah,
My
from the last
north-facing
storm.
from the last storm,
Yeah.
and it was again 60 here on Monday, and it was still a sheet of ice. I was like slipping on ice. I actually, fun fact, probably shouldn't admit this publicly, but I will. Is I completely slipped on ice and fell on Monday in the middle of a 60-degree day. I mean, I'm fine, but I do have some battle scars. I don't know how I'm going to make it through, but I don't know if you can
Okay,
see these.
Show the people.
This is horrendous here,
Yeah,
but
a
I'm
little
not sure you can see it. Can you see them?
Yes, a little bit.
So.
Well, be careful with the messaging. Is be careful when you walk outside, because certainly there could be some icy spots underneath all of that snow once it does slowly melt.
Absolutely. So, well, any
was
final
fun.
thoughts? Yeah, no, it was fun.
Yes, to tag team, double the meteorologists, double the fun. Hey,
Double the expertise.
yeah.
There you go.
Well, I guess now we're just waiting for Chief Meteorologist Kathy Saban to get in. She'll be here soon, and we'll be tracking the rest of the forecast and the bitter cold that we have tonight, starting at 4 o'clock.
Absolutely. She'll be on at 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10 tonight with
All
more
night
on this.
long,
All
yeah.
night long. But anyways, meteorologist Danielle Grant, meteorologist Chris Bianchi, thanks so much for joining us here. And hopefully this has been insightful about this winter storm and all the cold that's to come. But thanks again for joining us.
Stay warm.
3, 2, 1. Good afternoon and welcome back to 9 News Watch, where we are reporting live in Boulder County. I'm meteorologist Keely Chalmers, and I am reporting from outside my home, actually doing a little remote work this morning, reporting in the snow that continues to come down. It is still snowing here, just some light fluffy flakes. I'll tell you what, the big difference from now to about an hour ago is that we're actually seeing some filtered sunshine. I'm going to flip the camera around a little bit, and you could actually see, is that blue skies kind of behind the clouds up there? So getting a little bit of filtered sunshine, and actually maybe even seeing our shadow a little bit. There's my dog Blue. She's been kind of a staple on my my live hits throughout the morning. She is out here enjoying the snow. We just got an official report not too long ago. The official total here in the Boulder area is just about a foot of snow. The unofficial total in my backyard was just about 9 inches, but that is enough for Blue to enjoy herself, run around, dig some holes, get kind of cold in the snow. So in addition to the snow, the other big story weather-wise is going to be the very chilly temperatures. Right now we're right around 11 degrees here in the Boulder area, and the temperatures are just going to drop below freezing as we head into the overnight hours. We're talking temperatures -5 to around the Denver metro area. So it is going to be very, very chilly. I think I walked too far from my modem, and so my Wi-Fi gets a little dicey when that happens. So I'm going to walk a little bit closer back towards my house. But I'll still give you a nice shot of my dog, Blue, and the snow. So again, snow just lightly falling out here. Starting to see some filtered sunshine. Temperatures still very chilly, and that means those road conditions are going to be still very slick as we head into the evening commute. And as we head into the morning commute, we're just not going to warm above freezing until then. And we've seen some plows out and about, clearing out the roads. In fact, when I went outside this morning out of my house trying to prepare for the morning news, I saw a plow going right up my street. I don't think I've ever seen a plow on the street out here, but they're doing a great job at trying to keep both the side streets and of course the interstates, the main arterials, clear of snow. That being said, they're still going to be slick out there because temperatures are still going to be below freezing. So make sure you bundle up if you head outdoors. Make sure you bundle up your pets as much as you can, especially those small pets. Keep your pets outside for a limited amount of time because, again, the temperatures are quite cold, especially overnight tonight with those temperatures dropping to about -5, -15 degrees. We will be gradually warming up. In fact, we're going to see some sunshine. We're already starting to see some filtered sunshine out here right now as we head into tomorrow, possibly waking up to some patchy fog out there in some areas tomorrow morning. And with those freezing temperatures, some of that fog could be freezing, and that could contribute to the slick conditions out there on the roads. But again, already seeing slick conditions on the roads, but also on the sidewalks. I mean, you got to think about that too. A lot of folks out there, saying, let's keep the cars at home and just walk to our destinations. But remember, some of those sidewalks are slippery as well. But again, we will be seeing some sunshine as we head into next weekend as well. And temperatures finally getting back to normal. But I'll tell you what, we are in the middle of a deep freeze, and it is chilly out there. Make sure you stay tuned to 9 News at 4 p.m. this evening. There you go. Hi, Blue. For the latest updates on the weather. Until then.